Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. Monday night, Goode and Faithful Servant episode here every Monday night as Kerry Goode and I, my former teammate at Alabama, dive into his book, Goode and Faithful Servant. As you may know, Kerry has ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and he speaks into a computer or actually thinks it into a computer. He can no longer speak, but he thinks it into the computer, and the computer spits it out in his voice. It's kind of a soft, so we're very thankful, and we've been trying for a long time. Congrats, KG, and being named to the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. The induction was last weekend. Well-deserved for you and Tanja. So let's dive into it. We're on day 59. Actually, Kerry breaks up his book into 196 days. They're like chapters. So we tackled 2 chapters. And remember, this is all in Kerry's word. This episode is brought to you by the Seiler Agency. So go by and see Jack and Kelly Seiler. All right, the Goode and Faithful Servant, day 59 in his book, and it's titled, What's My Name? My daughter commented one day, Dad, you know a lot of celebrities and famous people. I'd like to know some famous people, she told Kerry. I assured her that they are no different than you and I. I dreamed of sitting with Robin Leach from the TV show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. When asked why the show was so popular, he replied, because nobody wants to watch a show of the poor and unknown. Kerry says, I always remember my parents saying, no one is better than you, but more importantly, you're no better than anyone else. We as humans put famous people on a pedestal. But over the years, I've learned that you must treat everyone equally. He who has the most toys still dies. Luke 9:48 says, whoever receives this child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives him who sent me. For he who is the least among you is the one who is great. All right, Kerry, my first question for you in this chapter is, your post woman's name is Bev and your garbage man's name is James. Tell us a story about what you learned from the University of Professor on a pop quiz one day in college.
First, let me say hello, Trip, and a big hello to our listening audience. This weekend, I attended the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It was a great time. If you have not had the opportunity to visit the Hall of Fame in Birmingham, put it on your bucket list. There's a lesson in this story that we often overlook in our fast-paced lives, the significance of truly seeing people. That pop quiz was not just testing academic knowledge. It was testing awareness, compassion, and the ability to recognize the humanity in those around us. How often do we walk by someone without a second glance? How many faces do we see daily, yet never pause to truly acknowledge? The professor's message was clear. Every person is significant. Whether they clean the floors, deliver our mail, or service our vehicles, their presence matters. I've never forgotten that lesson. It reminds me that simple gestures, learning someone's name, offering a smile, showing appreciation carry great weight. They tell a person, I see you. You are valued. Jesus himself emphasized this in Luke 9:48. For he who is least among you all is the one who is great. The world measures importance through titles, wealth, and influence, but true greatness comes from humility, kindness, and the ability to uplift others. I know my postwoman's name is Bev. My garage man is James. And the woman who cleaned that floor in Bidgood Hall, her name was Dorothy. They are not background characters in my life. They are people with stories, dignity, and work. So today, ask yourself, who in your daily life has gone unseen for too long? Who deserves more than a passing glance? Start with something simple, a name, a smile, a moment of recognition, because in doing so, you reflect the very heart of kindness, humility, and human connection.
A name, a smile, a moment of recognition. Wow, KG. Yeah, professor's message was significant. It's every person's life matters, as you go on to say. And the professor taught you well. Simple gestures carry great weight, you say. A smile, a hello, any kind gesture goes a long way. The world measures greatness through titles, fame, and wealth. but true greatness comes from humility, kindness, and the ability to lift others, KG says. Wow, KG. Awesome stuff. My question, too, for the same chapter. Coach Brian taught us exactly what your parents taught you. Treat the janitor the same way you treat the president of the United States. Wow, I'm going to tell you a story, Carrie. Coach Brian, he treated the janitors well, treated every service person well in a restaurant. Just some amazing stories. When he first met Lyndon B. Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson was a big man, a lot like Coach Brian, 6'4", 6'5". And they're coming across the room, and Lyndon B. Johnson says, "Oh, Bear, you sure are a big one." Coach Brian says, "You're a big son bitch yourself." So Coach Brian would probably treat the janitor kinder than the President of the United States. But Carrie, my second question for you. What are your overall thoughts on, just keeping it real with people?
Keeping it real. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is the importance of seeing people for who they are, not for the status they hold, the wealth they accumulate, or the attention they receive. My father has a gift. He can strike up a conversation with anyone, especially with those others might overlook. To him, every person matters, whether they were well known or invisible to the world. That shaped how I see people and how I engage with them. I've met plenty of so-called important individuals in my lifetime. My daughter once commented on it, expressing her desire to know famous people, but I assured her, those people are no different than you or me. Titles and recognition don't change the essence of a person. As a young man, I dreamed big, inspired by the allure of wealth and success. I wanted the champagne wishes and caviar dreams that Robert Leach made famous. But over time, I realized that real success isn't measured by how much you have, but by how well you treat others. My parents drilled that into me. No one is better than you, but more importantly, you're no better than anyone else. That truth stuck with me. We live in a world where people place celebrities, influencers, and the wealthy on pedestals. But at the end of the day, he who has the most toys still dies. No amount of fame or fortune guarantees fulfillment. What matters is how we treat others, how we connect, and how we carry ourselves with humility and authenticity. So keep it real. See people, not status. Stick to everyone, not just those the world deems important. Because at the core, we are all human, and kindness is the greatest legacy we can leave behind.
Wow, great stuff. See people, not status. Every person matters. That's simple but profound words, Carrie. Thank you so much for that, man. All right, let's dive into the next chapter. Okay, this is day 61, and Carrie titles this chapter, "At Least I Don't, ... Let's see what that is. Remember, this is all in Carrie's words. I just ask the questions. People mean well, and I'm sure most are clueless as to what they say when they meet me on the street. But there was always one comment that irritated me more than most. It was, quote, "At least you don't have cancer or something worse." We all play this game called the dozens. We look at each other and the people in their negative situations or circumstances, and we say to ourselves, "At least I'm not like them," or "At least I don't have to deal with this or that." Some of us even recognize that we're blessed enough to say, "Thank God I'm not in that situation." But the moment something bad happens to us, we refuse to use the same thought process. We quickly move from "at least I don't have" to "why me? And what am I going to do now?" It's amazing how quickly we forget that no matter how bad the situation gets, we're going to get through it. Just sit back and think of all the things that we've already gone through. It may have been painful, but you made it through to the other side. No matter how bad the situation is, you'll get through it, and there's something positive to be gained. Even in death, there is a positive, even though we may not see it right away. I take Paul's approach, Carrie says, in Philippians 1:21, quote, "For me, to live is Christ and to die is gain. What has happened to me has actually served to advance the gospel." Verse 12. Always find something positive in every situation. 95% of your emotions are determined by how you interpret events to yourself. Wow. All right, Carrie, here's my last question for you. Your last sentence, and I'm going to read it again, is really profound. Okay, let me read it. Always find something positive in every situation. 95% of your emotions are determined by how you interpret events to yourself. All right, Carrie, my last question, buddy. Talk about that sentence and the theme of internal debate within us. Why me versus why not me? And how we can find the courage that St. Paul had.
Last line holds a deep truth. How we interpret our circumstances often dictates our emotional response to them. Life presents struggles, uncertainties, and unexpected hardships, and when faced with adversity, we naturally wrestle with the question, why me? But there is an alternative question that can shift our perspective. Why not me? The first question, why me, often stems from frustration, pain, and a sense of unfairness. It implies that suffering shouldn't belong to us, that we deserve exemption from hardship. But life does not work that way. Trials come to everyone, and the real challenge is how we respond. The second question, why not me, moves us toward acceptance, resilience, and purpose. It acknowledges that challenges shape us, refine us, and serve a greater purpose beyond what we can immediately see. It's a mindset that transforms obstacles into opportunities, pain into purpose. Paul embodied this courage when he said, what has happened to me has actually served to advance the gospel. Philippians 1:12. Instead of lamenting his suffering, he viewed his trials as a tool for greater good. Even in prison, even in persecution, Paul saw the bigger picture. His struggle was meaningless. It was leading to something greater. So how do we find that kind of courage? By recognizing that hardship is never wasted, by shifting from why me to why not me, by trusting that even in the darkest moments, there is growth, wisdom, and strength being cultivated, and by remembering this truth. For me, to live is Christ and to die is gain. Philippians 1:21. Life will test us, but perspective is our weapon. When struggles come, don't ask why me. Ask how can this shape me? Then walk forward knowing that no matter what happens, there is something good to be gained.
Wow. Unbelievable, Carrie. Great wisdom, frustration, pain, and a sense of unfairness. When bad things happen to me, ask yourself, why not me? I can handle it. What do we do next? Turn pain into purpose, acceptance, resilience. Paul's short-term struggles were meaningless because he could vision the big picture. Use your trials as tools, Carrie says. And life will test us, but our perspective is our weapon. Our perspective is our weapon. How we handle it, our response, what goes on next, not what's happened. It's already gone. How do we deal with it? What happened? Find out why and move on. Wow, it's great stuff, Carrie. Awesome. Congrats on being a Hall of Famer. I already knew you were. You're a Hall of Fame teammate of mine. So thanks for everybody for watching the show. If you like it, share it. All right, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. It's free. Stay tuned for these great messages. Without these awesome sponsors, this just wouldn't be possible. Everybody have a great sports night. If I could find my commercials, I'll be okay. Oh, man. Everybody, thanks for watching. Have a great night. So long.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
For 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352, 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.